I'm gonna do it just like Joe did. Make the face and everything, baby. Oh! Hey everyone, I'm Greg Hudson, host of America's Best Restaurants, where we scour the country, checking out hidden gems as well as your local favorites. And we found one today in Allentown, Pennsylvania, all right? This is Biaggio Pizzeria, but they make more than pizza. They have Lehigh Valley style steak sandwiches made from scratch. And listen, Joe, the owner, well, the only thing bigger than the pizza is his personality. Come on in, let's check it out. The man, Joe.
Hey,
what's
welcome,
good,
Greg? How are you? Good to see
great,
you,
man.
Good to see you. Welcome to Biaggio.
Thank you. I love the energy in here. Just walking in the door, we got the music, we got the TVs going.
It's crazy,
a lot
like
of
the
people
owner
out there. Crazy like the owner.
Yeah, it's a lot of people there. It's late in the afternoon. You know, we're used to it. We keep it moving. It's like the song. I like a moving. I like
that's how it feels when you walk in here, man.
Oh yeah.
So you putting some pies together back here? What do we got going on?
I got a couple of pizzas that I'm looking to make. You know, maybe I'll start off. Maybe I'll talk about what I do here, you know, and how it goes and stuff.
You kind of read my mind. I was hoping, man, I know I just got here, but if we could sit back here, you show me how you make your pies.
Sure.
I want to hear the Biaggio story.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot to it, and you've been through quite a bit to get to where you are today. So
most
that's cool with you, man. Let's throw some pies together, and I want to hear about it.
Yeah. So, you know, first off, it was like, I'm going to make this one here. This is a special one. This is called a bar pie. I refer to it as.
A bar pie?
And we use on this, if you ever heard of Cooper Sharp American cheese?
No.
Oh, it's here.
Cooper Sharp?
Do you like to taste something? Taste that cheese.
Love to. That's what I do all day.
Very good. Got a good creamy taste.
You read my mind. It's
Nice
very
finish.
creamy,
Yeah, nice finish. You know?
Oh, wow.
And wait till you taste it on here. It's
That's
unbelievable.
fantastic.
And you could eat half a pie.
Man.
You won't because we got a lot to eat today, but you could eat a half a pie.
Man, I bet.
But it's delicious.
Is this a Sicilian crust or something? What is this?
This is what we call a half sheet crust.
Okay.
So we call it a half sheet rectangle crust. It's complimentary from our Sicilian dough, which we got just under an 80% hydration, about 78% with water. So we get a little bit more lift, very light, digestible in the belly.
This will be a bit airy, would you
it's
say?
going to be very airy.
Oh, I love that crust.
And it's going to have nice fluff crisp, I call it.
Oh, beautiful.
And good little pockets of love.
Oh, yes. This for me, this is the kind of crust I'm into.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to have density.
Yeah.
You know, you ever go and eat some of these pizzas and they're very dense?
Yes.
And it's like you just put 2 pounds of cement in your gut.
And you know when it's light and airy like this, also you get to taste the toppings.
Yeah,
it's not too much bread.
But you'll taste the grains in the bread.
Yes, that I like.
You'll taste the grains,
I
which
bet it's got
really
like some chew.
It's actually
just
very
nice, crisp, light.
Goes right through.
I think I just can't wait to eat it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good pie. This is what I call the surprise of the day always.
Okay.
So we'll put the cheese on here like this, you know. And before I go any further, though, you know, so a quick get into my story.
Let's talk about this.
So, you know, it was I had a place, a big place. I always say, you know, I had a place that I kind of failed at.
Okay.
You know, and there's nothing you can do. You know, when you fail at something, you fail at it. But had I not had that failure in my life, I would have never had this success.
Very true.
You know, so.
Yep.
In the time that I was past, that I wasn't doing anything, you know, I ended up, I was in food sales, which was fortunate. It was Italian food. I worked for Italian food company, which was great for me. Yeah.
What a shocker.
You know, but it was a good fit, and I was doing very well with the company. But I always realized I was never that kind of corporate guy. I'm a blue collar guy. You know, I'm a people guy. You know, out here, and then. You know, my family would always say, you know, when are you going to do something? I say, you know, God's going to bring me to my path. You know, God's going to bring me to the path. And one of the difficult things I remember was when I located this place, I probably had about a $1.60 and change, $1.66 left to my name. Of course, I had lost so much from there. And, you know, what are you going to do? I'm going to find my way. So I remember when I went to talk to my wife, I said, you know what I think I'm going to do? Because I was doing good at that job. I says, I think I'm going to leave. I'm going to buy this pizza place. And her first thing was, no! And she was, no, are you sure? How? I said, she goes, that's all we have. I was like, trust in me.
Yeah.
I says, if there's anything I know, I said, I can make it happen.
It's fair.
I says, I have true trust in me. I says, I think this is where I need to be. So, again, the hardest part I found was, Greg, when you're in a game, everybody wants to be on your team.
Yes.
But I wasn't in the game. I wasn't even in the field.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you're trying to play the game, and now nobody wants to let you play.
So now, I realized I need to somehow parlay this money from $1.60 and change to like $2.75, somewhere around, because that's what I needed.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, man, I says, and I always refer to myself, I say, you know what? If you want to be able to be good with me, keep me like the dancing bear in the middle of the ring.
Okay.
But once you corner me, that's it. I win. Like, don't put me in a corner. And that's what really had happened. It's the truth, though. You go here, you go there. I remember the one place says to me, well, if you were good at what you did, you wouldn't be out of the business. I remember looking, and you got to bite your tongue.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But
I would love to be a fly on the wall to watch your face and have somebody say that to you.
The crazy thing about it was the times. The country. It was the recession. I get it where they were in business.
Yeah.
But they were very aggressive in saying, you want this, but what are you giving us? And it was like, wow. So finally, I figured it out. I figured out how to do it, and then 2013, June 10th is when we opened. We took possession of it the Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
So I get the keys, everything, and then basically we were like a 10-day, painting, revamp, got the boots, got everything, got equipment.
So the whole place got set up in 10 days?
It got set up in 10 days. Like the pizza oven he had here, I didn't want. I brought him that pizza oven right over there.
Okay.
That was my first set over here, and then this is my second set. I had to bring in my own Bain Marie. Like there was stuff. I basically took his stuff, got rid of that, brought in my stuff. We put new flooring, new this, new that, a paint job, and just was an evolving thing,
Man.
And then here we are today.
Well, it's looking good, man.
It's feeling good.
It's looking good. I'll bet. Let's see if it's tasting good. Come on, Joe. Let's see if it's tasting good.
I'll continue with this here. We'll get it going. And the cheese is going to lift up a little bit, which is fine. That's no big deal. And then you make this heavy saucy. I call it heavy saucy.
Heavy sauce?
And that's it. Very simple.
Wow. You mentioned something to me before, but watching you, I can see how much care and love you put into everything you do.
Oh, yeah.
Like you just making that right now,
love.
It felt like you were making it for your family.
It's extension of your hand to the pan, like I said earlier.
Hand to the pan. I love it. You're full of good sayings too, brother.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And we're going nice.
Hand to the pan. I like the dancing bear.
Got it in there.
Yeah, get in there. There we go.
I got plenty of scars to see it over the years.
Oh,
So,
sure do.
So, we open up and then we're here and always try to see. Now, look here, this is something here.
Oh, that's
I always
gorgeous.
say to guys, so you got to remember, I always say, this is a living organism because of the yeast. So when you take this out, if it's stuck, I always say to guys, you got to break the release. You see something as simple as that? Making the dough just move in the pan to bring it out. It's the hardest thing to sometimes teach new guys.
Really?
Because they go and they grab the dough. Because right now, whatever you're going to do to this dough can show up in the skin. So you want everything to do.
Okay.
You want to manipulate it as little as you can to make the skin as beautiful as you can.
That makes sense.
It's something that most guys don't consider. Now we do an oil dough here. Like I have this. The oil we use inside here is we do 60% granola, 40% virgin.
Gotcha.
If you do 100% virgin, it coagulates the virgin olive oil in the cold. So it's too tight and it makes like cement around the dough. And then you got to have the dough out, and it's good flavor, but it's a lot harder to work with. So here, if you look, a lot of guys, when they're doing a New York style crust, they're pushing the ends. What I try to do is, and now I'll take it like this. And if you see, the people say, "Oh, watch, you're gonna get your finger." No, this is docking right here. It's like you're docking the dough. You're making it level. It's a whole different way of making pizza. People say, "Oh, too much flour, too much." Shut up already! Too much flour, God damn it! They just come on, and now look, it's like you don't have to do a lot of spinning because the dough, I've naturally leavened the yeast.
And
it's
you do
the same
knuckles.
thing. I'm just, you'll see. I didn't even spin it for you.
Yeah.
Look at this.
How does that stretch like that? It's got a beautiful
Because
stretch,
I
very
activate,
easy.
and I activate the glutens, the proteins a proper way. And that's why I could teach anybody to make pizza. People think it's just jumping and unjump. No. You
that
just saw what you
stretched effortlessly.
Effortlessly.
Effortlessly. That dough stretched.
That's what I say. And it took decades for me to get to this point. You know?
Man, that was incredible.
It is, because most guys, they're spinning it, they're fighting the dough. And the dough is like this every single time we make it. Every time. It has a consistency rate of maybe a small percentage variable.
Well, I heard you talking about the percentages as far as the
Water to
waters
flour,
go. And
yes.
Yeah, and so that obviously makes a real difference. It's like
It does.
science, basically.
There's a science to what we do. You know,
So
starting with the 43-degree water, which is spring water.
Yeah.
You know, and then what we do is we'll put the spring water in, and we put it in with our yeast. And then we'll put it with the flour, the malt, and the semolina. And then we set the timer for 5 minutes. So there's no salt, there's no olive oil in there yet.
Wow.
And we use
okay.
Mediterranean sea salt. I don't use iodized salt. I'm gonna put this in the oven.
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead. But so basically, it's that temperature of that water is what makes a big difference then.
Well, because now you gotta work the dough. So what you're doing is, just think, we're gonna start at 42 degrees. Greg, I'm gonna just get my towel here.
Yeah, go
We're gonna
ahead.
start at 42 degrees. We've gotta work that dough inside the mixing bowl till we reach 73 degrees. So at 72 to 77 is a great point for the yeast to activate naturally. So we have no activators in there. So how are you gonna do it? With heat.
Yeah.
You understand? So
start
you've
with
got
that
to
cold
keep
water.
spinning the bowl.
Get that temperature up, get that yeast
Right.
to activate, but do so without using sugar.
So now and the first 5 minutes, what are we doing? We got the yeast, and we got the water, and the flour, the malt, the semolina. We're forming the fibers of the dough, making the foundation.
Yeah.
So we have nothing, because you don't want, when you're making a foundation, you don't want to make anything else but what makes the foundation.
Yep.
So there's no seasoning like salt in there, there's no olive oil, there's a process to it. So once 5 minutes goes, we save another quart of water from the original 40 and another quart. So we have that extra quart, we'll set the mixer to 9 to 10 minutes, all right? Either or, just sometimes it's like a turn, so if I hit 9, that's where I hit. If it goes to 10, so
That's
how,
fine.
it's no big deal, because at the end, it's all about 73 degrees, you know?
Got it, yeah.
So we turn it on, we pour the water in, the dough gets wet, and then we shake the Mediterranean sea salt.
Okay.
And now that can bond into those fibers because you have a foundation.
yeah.
Now there's a lot
It
of
won't
guys
mess with
out
the
there.
foundation.
A lot of guys will hear what I'm saying. They say, I just threw the yeast in, I throw this up, it don't matter. Okay, fine. I didn't tell you to do it my way.
Right. But your dough won't do what that just
right,
did.
it doesn't do it
Won't
that
do
did.
that.
I can guarantee you. And their dough can't let, like we try to do, majority of a dough, we try to get a 48-hour raise on it in cold.
Okay.
Cold raise.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're not leaving it outside for heat. We're taking it, roll it, putting it in.
Yeah.
But back to the salt. Once that's done, now we're at the last part of the phase of the dough. The timer goes off. Now we put 16 ounces of virgin olive oil, extra virgin,
Okay.
every time. And I say to people all the time, when do you add the oil to an engine? In the beginning when you're making the engine, or at the end when you're ready to start it up?
When you're starting it up. Yeah.
You just hit it right. Because
Yes.
if you put the oil from the first moment, the oil's gonna clog everything up.
Yep.
Or better yet, slip it up.
True.
If you try to
Yes.
use oil when you're building the engine, are your hands gonna be clean?
No. For the
Same
rest
kind of
the engine.
concept. Yeah.
Okay.
So, guys don't realize it. I get it. Look, I'm making money. What do I got to hear you? I didn't say you got to hear me. But you want to know my story? I'll tell you. I'll teach you. My wife always says to me, she goes, aren't you worried about people taking your recipe? I says, no. She goes, why? I said, because everybody does it better. They look at what I'm doing and then say, oh, he's crazy for this. He's crazy. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
don't worry
crazy.
about it then. Yeah.
Well, let the pies be, counting for you. Let the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
You
person-
stand out for the reasons that you stand out. So what you do is
Exactly.
different. What they do is different.
It's,
I love it.
I've shown people, I have guys called me up, can I come make dough with you? I've had about 4 or 5 operators come work with me. They've asked to work with me.
They'll come in and stage and figure out what you're doing.
Again, she's gonna say, but I said, I'm not worried. I've had a few guys work for me, like 90 days to 6 months, go open up shops. They're successful, God bless them, they're good people.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not that guy. If
Yeah.
you wanna know how I make my dough, I've shown people. But again, guys, after I've shown them, they're like, it's too much for me.
Well, you're your own unique guy, too.
I am.
I think in order to make what you make, you kind of got to be Joe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, he can give you this stuff all day long, but if you're not walking around doing it, putting the love into
if you're not looking at
Joe,
everything and you're not understanding the whole
recipe.
right, it's 100%.
Well,
But
we
a
are
lot
going
of guys, they don't look at it that way.
we're gonna get these pies out of the oven and go have a seat, because man, I'm hungry after watching Joe make these. We'll catch you on the
They're
other
gonna
side.
taste delicious. Wait till you see us eat them.
Here we go, baby. At the table, Joe, we got the 2 pizzas that you just put together for us back there
Yep.
in the kitchen. So talk
good
us through
stuff.
this. Talk us through this.
So as
now.
you can see, like I always talk about the skin, the beauty of the skin. This is our New York style pizza I ate here.
I like that you call it the skin.
Yeah, it is. Each one is different. Each piece of dough, when you make it, and some guys don't, they just don't, how would you say it, understand. It's a living organism.
Yeah, that's true. With
All
the
right,
yeast
so
in there, it's dough,
sometimes it
it's-
could be a football shape. Sometimes you have a heart. I mean, I tell the guys, however it goes on the board, let it come out. Don't worry
fair.
about making it round.
This
So
looks beautiful.
It
I
is.
don't care if it's perfectly round or not. I think it's fantastic.
And that's how pizza should be eaten. I mean, people like it lighter. I respect that, but this is a beautiful cooked pizza. It's digestive. It's going to be light in the stomach, and it's going to have great taste.
That
It
means
really
I can
is.
eat more the lighter it is in the
Yes,
stomach.
yes.
All right, so look, and then
And
over
just,
here.
I'll explain this one too
Yeah.
quick. This is our half sheet. Like I told you, how did I start making these? I saw the sheets, so I bought them. Well, no better ideas ever created than just see do.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's give it a shot. Found the sheet pan. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, so this we call it our Cooper bar pie. So we use Cooper American cheese.
Right.
And then we put our pizza sauce on top and our grated cheese over the top of that. Simple,
Yeah.
light, but clean.
Okay.
And
Well, where
so
do we start?
I'll serve you up a slice here.
Ooh, okay.
And then I'm gonna grab myself a slice here, and you got look at that end crust there on there for you. Look at that, nice,
Oh, man.
nice on the end there.
I love that.
Look at those bubbles. Look, bubbles of love.
That's your bubbles of love. You're right, man.
Bubbles of
This is
love.
gorgeous. And is this your classic pie, would you say?
Yeah, yeah. Nice pie,
Man,
good chew.
that sauce.
Bang,
Man.
bang, man.
Okay.
So here's the key thing to the sauce. So a lot of guys use what they call pizza sauce.
Sure.
I don't, because pizza sauce is created out of all the leftovers, and most guys don't understand that. So what do I mean leftovers? So when you have to use processed tomatoes in the plant to make paste, puree, and make all that. Oh, thank you. That's my wife, Gigi, on set.
Hey, Gigi, we're going to need those. Thank you.
Thank you,
really
sweetheart. After you're just left with some tomato solids.
Okay.
So what they came up with the idea is the way to process that, and they make it into sauce. So the sauce is the back end of everything that was created. Not that it's bad.
Right.
So what I do is I use plum tomatoes, Italian plum tomatoes. I use tomato strips, and then I use puree because it's a clean fill. You understand? It's a
Yeah.
clean fill.
But it's it's very bright. It's very bright. And so
Like you
get
get
into the crust.
Oh yeah.
What I love about this too, you're right, it has that chew to it,
Uh-huh.
but it's not too dense like you mentioned. You
No.
still get to taste those toppings. You taste the brightness of the
That's
sauce
even
and
lighter.
taste the cheese. And I can't wait to get to that either. But
That's even lighter.
I love when you can taste the ingredients that are on top, especially
Oh, yeah.
when you're putting the care into it like you are with that sauce.
Everything is married. So people don't realize what makes cheese is the sauce. It's a vanilla protein. I use a 3 cheese combination on my pie. All right? And then our cheese is branded to us.
Okay.
So it's
wow.
proprietary to us. And the dairies that prepare this and the percentages of cheese, I came up with the shredder. So this is
So this is
called
your private blend
That's
of
our
cheese?
private blend of cheese. And
Man.
because I went up to Wisconsin I was twice brought to Wisconsin by the Merchant Cheese Association. And I was fortunate to get to learn different cheeses. And over about a 7 to 8 month course of time, we were able to get the percentage of blends. And again, this is like some guys say, oh, well, you're using him as the shredder. I know you think it's your cheese. All right.
It comes back
Yeah,
to, unless you've had it in here.
Creativity is for the mind that wants to create. But to not create is so much more easier. To say, oh, you don't have this. I run into it all the time. But what are you going to say to that? At that point, you say it's a lost cause.
Yeah, well, you're doing this for you. You're
Yeah,
not doing it for somebody
exactly.
else anyway.
Exactly.
So you're
Exactly.
doing this for you the way you do it.
You got to try this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's dig in here, man.
Here we go.
Oh.
Give you a nice center cut piece like
And
that.
this is the pizza that you came up with on your own.
Yeah, this is just Cooper bar pie, sauce on top.
And you're
Cooper
telling me,
cheese.
look, that looks kind of thick. You're telling me that's going to be light and airy?
Oh yeah.
Give it a shot, man. Man.
All right.
You know what, I'll be honest, I questioned you back there about putting the sauce on top of the cheese, but for some reason it works with this very well. It's like
with
this
the
was meant
cheese.
to be that way.
And what do you finish? What's the last flavor you taste in your mouth? Is the creaminess.
That creaminess of the cheese. How did, of course you know that, you made it. But
But
I was just going to say,
you
the
said
finishing
it, you said
dish.
it only a second after I said it. I knew you were going to say it because we even talked about it when you tried the cheese.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that's the finish.
That is the perfect cheese for this pizza too.
Yep.
I don't think you get this same result with another cheese.
So another thing we do with this pie, we put fresh soaked mozzarella. So that's between a mozzarella and between like a Ovalini that mozzarella.
Sure. Okay.
And dry mozzarella. So it's the in between layer. That gives you another finish like this, but a different kind of finish because of the flavor. We make that with marinara.
Right.
We make it with garlic, basil, and grated cheese, and olive oil on top. But that's a pie that spins you to a whole different side because of the
Yes.
garlic on it, the basil.
Yeah.
The
Almost like a
marinara.
margarita effect.
Yeah, in that, because our marinara is like a garden in your mouth.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
Correct.
I
Love that.
Oh, it's a garden thing.
This is incredible,
It's incredible,
man.
right? It's-
Well, I want to have a couple more slices, but what else are you cooking up for us today?
Yeah,
This-
we got-
if this is just a start.
This is just a start,
man.
yeah. We got our Valley style cheesesteak pie.
Okay.
I mean, Valley style cheesesteak, which
Okay.
I'm going to show you. And then we got our Italian roast pork hoagie. And then we're going to finish it off for classic chicken parm platter.
Chicken parm, why not?
You got everybody. Where
Let's
do you go?
go, my
Chicken
man.
parm's the place to be at the end of the day. You know?
You heard it here, man. We're going to be right back with some more food after we devour a couple more
Yes.
slices. All right, Joe. 1 for 1, actually 2 for 2 with the pizzas. Those
Yeah,
are
they were
outstanding.
good, right? They were
This
good.
looks incredible too. The steak
We're going
sandwich.
to digest a little bit. Take a little.
We took a breather between shots,
Take a
didn't we?
breather. We took a 20-minute nap.
We
You
did.
know,
But so this is your steak sandwich, but it's a bit different than what people might be used to.
Well, here's what it is. Okay, so I was telling Austin, I was saying that if you drove probably from like the Poconos straight down to Philadelphia, even to Camden, every 10 miles or so, cheesesteaks are made different. And how
Wow.
people make, even
Okay.
how they chop them, how the thickness of the kind of meat you use, who puts mushrooms and peppers whole on, who chops them in the sandwich, who doesn't put onions. So in this area, we're cheesesteak country.
Okay.
So,
But it's regional. It depends on where you're
regional. It's like every 10 miles, like, there's a big, down by Quakertown right now, the big thing is sliced ribeye. You know,
Okay.
sliced, so
Sliced
you
ribeye.
see thin sliced ribeye on a sandwich. This is chopped ribeye. So I'm using ribeye, but we chop it because in the Lehigh Valley, which that's where you are, the Lehigh Valley, Allentown, Pennsylvania, okay, we chop our steaks. And
I like it.
for years, you get chops. A lot of guys use knuckle, they use sirloin, they use tail. There's all different meats you can use for this. The meat of choice we use is ribeye. But we chop it because
love.
everybody chops it fine. They chop
this
it fine.
region, in the Lehigh Valley,
In this region,
you're gonna get
Allentown,
a
Bethlehem,
chopped
you're going to
steak.
get a chopped sandwich. Yes, you got it.
I like that too, because that way you're not gonna have a bite where you're pulling and apart.
Right. And now those sandwiches are good too, the way they
Sure.
do it. But this is our style here. So it's
Okay.
funny, like when people say, I like the Valley style, but I don't like sauce and onions. I'm like, okay, so you just like meat and cheese, that's good, but it's not it's like saying, I don't like pizza with sauce and cheese on it. But then
That's what
you're
pizza
just
is.
eating bread, that's what it is. So this is the Valley style. So
Well, let's get into the Valley style,
Yeah.
baby.
So now the thing I always say, I love to walk around my dining room here. Here's a fork, because I'm going to
We're
show
gonna
you.
need this.
Yeah, we're going to need it. 'cause-
I like we're gonna need a fork for the steak
so the
sandwich.
thing is, right now, with this, you could see like the meat coming from the end. You don't really want to take, what you're doing is, you're going like this, and you're taking this up, and you're going like this. All right?
Okay, not mad at that. So we just scoop it almost on the fork from the bun.
You're scooping off that sauce. Because your goal is to make it eventually that you can squeeze the sandwich like this and get the bite straight out.
Oh, so this is just like a little appetizer.
That's-
It's a
anybody who
sandwich that
really-
comes with its own appetizer.
If somebody you see picks up this sandwich and goes like this, They don't know the traditions of eating a Valley-style cheesesteak.
I love that. I love that.
You know,
man.
and that's from being around many years. So this is it. Like, you know, guys will do this. Some guys go like this, like I just did.
Oh man!
And you do the.
Because you want some of that cheese in there too.
Right.
You're getting again that creaminess from that cheese.
100%. Now look, see there, I've created that.
Yeah, enough that you can squeeze it all the way through and get a full bite.
That full bite.
But I know that Lehigh Valley does their steaks a certain way, but I have to say, man, you can taste the freshness and the sauce you're using, the quality in that cheese.
We're making
that
sauce every
ribeye,
day. Oh, yeah.
fantastic ribeye.
I mean, we're cooking every day. We use in excess about probably 50 pieces of tomatoes a week. Yeah. So that's why you see the machine for making tomatoes in the back. What I can't have small toys here. I got to have power equipment.
All right, I think, am I ready? Am I ready for the
you're
squeeze?
pretty much, and then there you go. You're gonna,
a little squeeze
there it
there?
is. Got a little squeeze, close it up on the top. It's like just like this. You see this right here?
Now it'll close up top. Yep.
Gotta close
That's a nice bite right there, Joe. I'm gonna try to recreate this. That's a great bite.
And now we got the full flavor of the sandwich.
Yeah.
The cheese, what sauce was left that you put in.
And this
and
bread
all
feels
the
soft
bread,
too.
right?
There we go. I'm gonna do it just like Joe did. Make the face and everything, baby. Oh!
That bread's over $2 and change a roll.
It's fantastic, though.
And it's a great bread for a sandwich, right? It's got body.
It's perfect.
It's got body.
And again,
to it.
you get to take all the flavors from what's inside the sandwich. This kind of bread is not taking away from that flavor, which is key.
I'll tell you what, hats off to Licio's Bakery and that whole team down there. They introduced me to this bread, and it was more money. And the moment I saw it, I was like, that's what I gotta have, because you can never become complacent. You know, you can't put a price on what it does for my sandwich, and like when you toast it. So it didn't matter that I was taking like $1.50 a roll hit on it. It's worth every like the flavor.
Because you are going to come back for this, trust me.
Yeah.
You're going to come back
our
for this.
large sandwich is like 20 to 22 inches long.
I saw a guy walking out. I was wondering what that was.
That's the large sandwich.
I saw a guy walking out.
It's a sandwich.
He had a boat oar in his hand,
It's a 4
I'm pretty
pound
sure.
sandwich. You got like 4 pounds of meat inside it. It's incredible. But we have to make it with love. We have to fill it up, and you have to satisfy the customer. You know, and that's what we do. Like these are great rolls. When you get a PARM, you get it toasted, it's a whole nother level.
Man.
They just come with sesames, like sesame seeds on it.
Yeah.
I didn't do sesame because, you know, you're always worried about that nut allergy and stuff like that. I get it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Man, sometimes I regret not having it, because the sesame even takes it another level. You know,
if that's possible.
And you know, it's nothing like a good sandwich, and with 2 G's, not 1.
Sandwich.
You know,
you're right up there with this, man.
Thank you.
My gosh. All right, a couple more bites, and I think I heard you mention a chicken parm earlier.
Yeah, that's going to be our last one. Next is going to be I'm going to do a roasted pork, Italian roasted pork.
Because why not? All right, roasted pork coming up next, everybody. All right, Joe, you didn't disappoint. I see we have another sandwich. This is the pork sandwich?
That's our Italian-style roasted pork.
And you can smell the cheese.
You smell the cheese. The sharp provolone. That sharp provolone on there. Nice.
Man.
Garlic spread. We got here broccoli rabe, house-made roast pork. I got the rosemary. I got the thyme garlic. I got onions. It's my own spin on it. It's my own. I created it, and it's maturated to what it is. And as you saw earlier, I showed you we got more cooking in the back.
Yeah.
And the flavor, it smokes up the whole room. It's just, you know.
Yeah, as soon as you open those doors back there.
It wafts you.
Yeah, I mean, there was the rosemary that hit you, of course, the pork. So this is the finished product.
It's like a smack on your ass. That's it.
It is. Smack, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing? So this is the finished product of what we saw earlier.
Exactly. So this here is toasted. So this is just one of those.
What do we do? I don't know what I'm doing here.
This is a nice. See the grease?
Yeah.
This is all about the grease right there. You see the olive oil from the broccoli rabe, everything coming out. And I just take it, and this is one of those sandwiches you're going like this.
Okay, I'm gonna try. This is leaking out. We're gonna try to get a shot. It's supposed to look like this, right?
Yeah.
All right, you squeeze it together. You ready? Here we go. Let's get in here.
Right? I know.
Man, come on.
There's so much going on, right?
Come on.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Just absolute darts being thrown at my palate right now. Just
Right.
darts, left and right. Man, I do get the broccoli rabe in there.
Yeah. You get the crunch.
And the texture, yeah, I was gonna say the texture of that
Get the
broccoli
crunch.
rabe is great. And it might have been that pepper, but there's something that's super bright on my palate.
Could be the pepper. Could be.
I don't know, but, and I mean, the pork is
Pork's
just
unbelievable.
beautiful. How long do you marinate that for, a roasted pork?
This here takes anywhere from 5 to 6.5 hours.
Man, I mean, it really does. So, if you saw
200,
earlier,
225, 250 degrees.
it's slow and low for just
Slow
hours
and low.
on end. And we
Yeah.
saw all of the herbs that you had in there,
Yep.
and all of the ingredients that go into that pork. And you're right, they all just soak in
Now, here's the thing.
that pork.
So there's no written recipe.
For that,
Every time when I open up my pork butts,
yeah.
okay, and I get the show, I get everything. Once I cut the meat up, get it all prepped. It's all at that moment. Remember I said about feeling?
Yeah, yes,
Because that meat doesn't weigh the same.
true.
Each cut's always different. So this is a concept of what I say when you're cooking. Now I'm able to bring this flavor out, time in and time out, and there's no written recipe.
That's crazy.
And I'm the only one who makes this.
I would hope
'Cause it's
so.
my-
There's no way.
there's nobody else here. There's not even a recipe to pass on because I tried to show people, and they just can't.
Well, and as the theme, I think the one main sort of theme throughout this entire episode since we've been here is
Leaking.
yeah, well, yeah, it's all over the place. But the theme that interweaves this whole episode is the way that you cook with passion. I just feel like, yeah, and this is the perfect compliment to that. I can't think of a higher compliment for that than
It's
this
a feeling.
sandwich, because this sandwich has no recipe, but it's made consistently the same way,
Yeah.
and it's just you back there with a feel thing for how it's made.
For all the like the acids that I put in it to help break down the protein. It's all pork. It's all pork.
Well, we better get to this chicken parm because, man, my
Yeah.
appetite is, I'm about
We're getting
full.
knocked out, man.
We got to do it. All right, let's take a couple more bites, my friend.
You got it, my man.
Yeah. Chicken
Good
parm
job.
coming up
I'm gonna
next.
need some napkins.
Chicken parm, and I got to tell you, man, I'm not glad, but I'm kind of glad this is the last dish because I don't know how much room I have.
Yeah,
I mean, everything
we've
you
been eating
serve
a
is
lot.
massive, and it's delicious. So we stopped rolling, and I finished the sandwich, not even paying attention.
Yeah.
We're just chatting. We're done shooting, but that steak sandwich, I just kept eating it, man. So tell me about the chicken parm then.
Chicken parm, all right? You know, hand trimmed cutlets, hand breaded, all house done on a homemade sauce with mozzarella shaved parm. I mean, the only thing we do different here is we would serve it over pasta. But you know what? We've eaten so much and we've carved it up today in a good
Right,
way.
right.
So I figure we're just going to have it and we'll cut into it
Let's
and
go.
just try a classic. Because you know what? It's a classic dish.
It really is.
I mean, if
And
you
one
go
of my favorites, if I'm being really honest with you, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh yeah. I have a chicken parm dish at least once a week. It's a cutlet with the cheese and salt. These are things that I eat on a regular basis here.
Simple but perfection.
Yeah, it's crazy to say it. And that's what I am. I'm a simple guy. This is all easy food. Good stretch on the cheese.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. I love the way that sauce holds on to that chicken.
Yeah. Right?
So good. So, I mean, it's a hearty sauce. So rich.
And it is. You don't see no water in this dish. Right? How many times you go to a place and you see the tomato sauce? It's all water.
It's watery.
Yep.
That's what I love. This just sticks right to that chicken and cheese. Oh,
Nothing
man.
dancing around the plate. Right?
I mean, I think one of the highest compliments I could pay you on this is just that it's just classic.
Yeah.
It's no frills, but in the best way possible because everything's fresh. You can tell it's hand breaded. You can tell that sauce is made here.
It's just a simple dish of chicken parm and it pops in your mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But without the frills, without trying to make it fancy, without just
The sauce-
fresh,
the
clean,
sauce is
classic.
Pureed perfect. You don't have no bits and pieces in there with chunks.
No, this is
It's
great.
nice and clean. It sticks to the chicken parm nice. You got good bite on the cheese,
Yes.
you know, and married to and the chicken's tender.
Yes.
You know,
Very,
we
very
run it through
tender.
a tender. I have a $3,800 tender
Really? You have your own tenderizer
I
back
actually
there.
have what you would see in like grocery stores.
So not even you don't need the mallet. You're just putting
No.
You got,
I have a professional. That piece of machinery we couldn't do without. We process too much chicken and veal.
right.
So you need to have the proper equipment. Standing there with a mallet isn't going to get what we get out of this.
That perfection that you have with it.
It is. Trim it nice and thin, run it through. It was funny. So I had a customer one day, and I'm telling this story because it's amazing how people's perception of food. She has to see a manager come out the table and she goes, I says, how can I help you? She goes, well, sir, I ordered chicken cutlets. I says, yes. She goes, these aren't chicken cutlets. They're too thin. I says, unfortunately, I says, I understand what your interpretation may be. I says, you may not understand, but a cutlet means thin trim. I says, if you think it's too thin, I'm fine. I'll get you something else.
Right.
And that's how I handle it.
Perfect.
But at that point, if you could see my eyeballs, they were rolling around in circles because I was like, it was like saying, is your shirt red? Chartreuse.
Right. No, this is great, man. I mean, again, classic chicken.
Classic chicken, yeah.
And it's cut Parmesan.
Yeah.
Cheese,
And then after all we
great.
ate, it just keeps sucking me in for another bite.
Well, me too. I'm sitting here talking to you. I keep eating. It's just, I'm glad we ended with this. Everything else does have your spin on it, your take. And this does as well, but just to end with this rustic, classic Italian dish, man, that's the way to go.
Who doesn't like chicken parm?
I don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody.
I don't trust anybody that doesn't like chicken parm, unless you're a vegetarian, which then I understand.
I agree with that. We got you a vegan chicken.
Right.
But at that point, I've never heard a person say, I don't like chicken parm. I really haven't.
Well, where can people find you on social media, man? Because with a personality
Biaggio
like
Pizza,
yours.
Go to BiaggioPizza.com. Go to our Facebook page, Instagram page. Go follow us on there. Go to on the website. I mean, we got a section on YouTube too. We got a YouTube channel. And you'll see me. I did all kinds of stuff in the past. Crazy commercials and things. Now, we're starting to get back into it. I do a lot of, if I'm walking or I'm somewhere, I just turn on live.
Perfect. Perfect.
I just turn on live and start showing my experience at that moment.
I was going to say, if nothing else, it's like the Joe show when you go live. And
Yeah,
who doesn't
it
want to see
really
that?
is.
It looks great, man.
It's the funnest thing in the world. We were on vacation. I kept going live. And it was
great, man.
It was actually fun to, share the experiences. When you have a business like this, what really truly happens, and it's still like the customers that come in on a regular basis, they become my friends.
I've seen it here just today.
Yeah, I've seen it. All the people.
I've seen you with you walking around and talking to folks,
So really, we enjoy endearing to their life, they endear into our life. My wife is very good at putting pictures up and stuff on social media. I'm just the action guy. So, but I'll tell you this quick, our anniversary was this past week. So we were all talking about where we were sitting around the pool. So I said, no better way. I said, I'm going live. Happy anniversary.
I can totally see that, man.
And she was like, no, I'm not made up. I said, don't worry about it. I said, relax.
And people who are fans of your restaurant obviously know you and know both of you. And so that stuff is so endearing for fans of your place.
You bring them into their life. They're all part of our lives,
Well, thanks for bringing us into your life today, my friend.
Anytime.
What a great time.
It was. I really,
Awesome time.
Greg, it's been a pleasure sitting here with you guys.
With me too.
I swear to God, it's like we got to take numbers. We'll go fishing or something.
I'm down for that. Well, if you're out there watching, if you're watching this, have a great time. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe. And I want you to do this. Go to the comment section below and tell me what you would like to see on a pizza here, what you loved about this episode, maybe any tips you got from Joe as you heard him talk about the ingredients. But what an awesome day. We'll see you next time
Thank you.
on America's Best Restaurant. See you later.
See you soon.